Hello, everyone. I have another Tom Holland movie review for you right now. We are talking about Chaos Walking this time around. While I do try to steer clear of discussing behind the scenes details in reviews, I do feel like I was very exposed to the ups and downs on this one over the years, so it does feel important to address that to some degree here. But before we even get to that, a brief synopsis for you. The movie takes place in the future and stars Tom Holland as Todd Hewitt, a young man living on another planet where all of the women are gone and the men have to deal with something they call noise, which is essentially their thoughts being projected for everyone to see and hear. One day, Daisy Ridley's character Viola crash lands on Todd's planet, and he strives to do whatever he can to protect her. So, might as well begin with one of the big burning questions here, and I think it's about the noise. I think the idea of exploring what might happen and the different ways people would react to having their inner thoughts become entirely public is just loaded with promise and offers great opportunity to dig into the concept in a multitude of ways that viewers can probably connect to. But it's one thing to do that on the page in a book. How do you bring something like that to screen visually in a way that doesn't grow tiresome? And I don't think what the filmmakers settled on is necessarily the best option out there, and I don't know what is, and maybe that's why I'm not a screenwriter or director, but I do have to imagine there's a stronger way to convey all of this. But I do think what they landed on works well enough, or at least specifically when we're talking about the visuals of it. It took some getting used to, but rather than grow tired of it as the film went along, I found that I got quite used to it, where it ultimately felt like it was just something that was a part of this world. Going back now to those behind-the-scenes troubles, the delays and reported reshoots there, I mean, listen, I don't know the specifics and can't be certain when something was shot or what specific changes were made at any given point, but I can at least tell you that while watching the movie, I felt like I sensed the challenges that the team faced, particularly when it comes to certain plot holes in the film, and I guess also the thematic opportunities that this concept offers that just aren't explored nearly enough, and also a number of the supporting characters here wind up being so thin, which is really unfortunate because Chaos Walking has an incredible roster of David Oyelowo, Cynthia Erivo, Damian Bashir, Nick Jonas. I did find that Bashir's scenes wound up being some of my favorite in the movie, but Oyelowo just doesn't get the screen time needed to support his character's mission and choices. Erivo gets so little to work with, and then Jonas's character is just bland and flat. Probably no surprise, but where the movie really soars in the performance department is with Daisy Ridley and Tom Holland. Ridley does feel underused here, but it also feels like she is taking what's probably on the page to another level and just selling a challenging concept to bring to screen fairly well. And when it comes to Holland, I said it recently, and I've got to say it again, he seems to be able to captivate me with any material, bringing such sincerity and conviction to his roles that I find myself buying the events of the films he's in largely because of his performance, or at least when the films that he's in aren't at or above a certain level of quality. I am going to score this one, and I'm going to go middle of the road. I'm going to give Chaos Walking 3 Deweys out of 5 on the Dewey Decimovie scale, because the core concept is something I found super intriguing, and I did enjoy watching it well enough. Is the movie a mess? Yeah, it is. It's got some strong beats, but the film overall doesn't really flow all that well as far as story structure and build go, and it is unfortunate that it poses all of these very interesting questions and then just gives exploring them a surface level treatment. And admittedly, I also do wonder if the fact that I'm a newcomer to the material had something to do with that intrigue level of the concept for me. So I can see how some book readers out there might feel otherwise about it. But hey, this is my review right here, and I did find that the entertainment value was there for me enough, and I enjoyed watching Ridley and Holland in this together. Is that enough to tell you to go spend your time watching Chaos Walking? Admittedly, not quite. So just know that they got away with it for me. But if you see it and feel otherwise, I do hear where you're coming from on that. One last thing on this one, because As someone who is mighty sensitive in the animal department, it does feel worth pointing this out. I wasn't really all that thrilled with what happens to certain animals in this one, so I did just want to put that out there as a warning for anyone who feels the same way I do, because I know I appreciate the heads up there. So that is it. My thoughts on Chaos Walking. I really want to know what you think about this one when it comes out, so when you guys watch it, get in that comment section below, share your thoughts right there. And before I end this review, we've got Patreon shoutouts, and these are for some of my top tier folks. They're great, great guys. They're Luke, Ian, Caleb, Billy, and Evan. I cannot even begin to tell you guys how much I appreciate having you part of this team and having you in that Slack channel. You guys are just so kind and supportive towards me, but also to each other in there, and that really does mean the world to me and fills my heart more than you know. So thank you guys for being here and just for being you. And to everybody else out there, thanks for watching the video. Do not leave it without liking and sharing it, and there's going to be more movie reviews coming your way very soon.